interesting. We don't read this paragraph before your next reading, but she does say that nothing passes door and window here save moonlight, starlight, and the wind. Mm-hmm. I think there's an interesting thing left unsaid there. The idea is that you don't need to be afraid because only these things get through. But there are probably other things that would like to pass in.
Huh. That's an interesting thought. Yeah.
Why would you be afraid if those are the only things around? Well, those aren't the only things around.
Yeah.
But don't worry, those other things can't get in.
Those other things can't get in. They might be outside, but they can't get in.
That's right. So
yeah.
I think there's a little bit of just a very subtle reminder in what is unsaid that makes you realize there are fearful things in the area, in the neighborhood.
That's interesting, and that's an interesting light and dark contrast there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just love the description of her departure. Again, there's just so much comparison to water. The sound of her footsteps, like a stream falling gently away, downhill over cool stones in the quiet of night. It's beautiful. And
man, that sounds like a greeting.
In 2 miles, turn right.
Car, doesn't it?
Okay.
The sound of your footsteps is like a stream falling gently away downhill.
You try that. Well, you and I can't try pickup lines anymore, but I was just going to say we should maybe have one of our listeners try that pickup line and see how it works.
It might. Let us know.
The sound of your footsteps is like a stream. What? Just stop. Just stop.
If it doesn't work, you never heard it from us.
That's
if it
right.
does work, congratulations. Yeah. Invite us to the wedding.
There you go.
What's this place?
I don't think we're going to have to worry about any invitations anytime soon, Sean.
Probably not.
For so many reasons.
Interesting.
In the meantime, before we get too much further aside, I'm going to have you read the next section here. I call this The Late Late Show with Tom B.
That's my favorite show. I stay up late every night.
That opening monologue's always great. A little wacky, but great.
Sometimes puts himself to sleep, though.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, here we go.
Tom sat on a while beside them in silence, while each of them tried to muster the courage to ask one of the many questions he had meant to ask at supper. Sleep gathered on their eyelids. At last, Frodo spoke. "Did you hear me calling, Master? Or was it just chance that brought you at that moment?" Tom stirred like a man shaken out of a pleasant dream. "Eh, what?" said he. "Did I hear you calling? Nay, I did not hear. I was busy singing. Just chance brought me then, if chance
In 1 mile, turn right.
you call it. It was no plan of mine, though I was waiting for you. We heard news of you and learned that you were wandering. We guessed you'd come ere long down to the water. All paths lead that way, down to Withywindle. Old Grey Willow man, he's a mighty singer, and it's hard for little folk to escape his cunning mazes. But Tom had an errand there that he dared not hinder."
Man, there's that rhythm again.
Yeah. Almost every sentence he speaks.
Everything he says. Yeah. So Frodo asks this wonderful question about, essentially, was it just chance? Was this coincidental? And we get that wonderful line again that we hear so often in Middle-earth. Just chance brought me then, if chance you call it. If chance you call it.
Yeah. And we've used that so many times on this show.
Oh, yeah,
I think people know, where we come down on it.
Kind of hitting you over the head with a sledgehammer on that one. But that,
a bit,
that is the recognition of fate, the recognition of the hand of Iluvatar working to accomplish certain things, yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting that Tom says it was no plan of mine.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it couldn't be somebody else's plan.
That's exactly right.
Which
In 0.2 miles, turn right.
is interesting. But, it's... he doesn't say it was an accident. He just says it was no plan of mine.
Right. He didn't say it's not a plan. It just wasn't my plan.
Yeah.
But he was waiting for him. Now that's interesting.
Road.
Turn right.
Because how did they hear the news? Who told them? We learned you were wandering. We guessed you'd come this way because all the roads lead to Rome. In this case,
or Withywindle in this case, yeah.
Yeah. But and we'll find out in the next episode. This is not really a spoiler that it was Gildor,
right?
That got the news there. But my goodness, that really reveals a lot about who Tom is. That he's connected in so many ways to get that information.
He kind of seems to know everybody around here, really.
Yeah. I mean, he certainly knows Farmer Maggot, as we'll talk about later on.
And lots of people know him, as we'll see when we get to the Council of Elrond.
Yeah, they may not know him by that name, but they certainly know of him under other titles.
Yeah. And it's interesting that, obviously, we know this because we know the story, but Frodo's errand is important enough that people are sharing news about it, you know?
Yeah.
When Gildor
In 0.2 miles, turn left.
passes, when Gildor sees Tom, he's going to tell him, hey, there's this guy,
Back near the
Frodo
old
Baggins,
stomping
he's
grounds.
wandering
They
through
used to
here,
roll
just
around these
FYI.
roads.
He doesn't say go look for
My
him, but he just says, hey, this guy's going to be around.
former
You know,
days.
he's wandering.
Yeah. And Tom
So-
thinks
Turn left.
to himself, well, he'll eventually find his way here because that's
right,
what
all
happens.
paths lead that way, so I guess I'll meet him soon. I'll get
Yeah.
my autograph book ready.
And if he doesn't, if Frodo's able to escape these paths because he's strong enough, that's kind of the implication here. It's hard for little folk to escape his mazes.
Mhm.
So in theory, it's possible, but Tom knew it wasn't likely and that he would
Right.
he would find him. Very interesting.
Right.
But of course, his errand was what brought him to that area, not Frodo's call. And that errand is what I'm going to talk about next. I'm going to pick up just part of the verse here. I'm going to read the second half of that first section. And he says, each year at summer's end I go to find them for her, in a wide pool, deep and clear, far down Withywindle. There they open first in spring, and there they linger latest. By that pool long ago I found the river daughter, fair young Goldberry, sitting in the rushes. Sweet was her singing then, and her heart was beating. And he would sing it quickly, I think. He would actually sing it, though, which I'm not going to do. I like you guys.
Probably
I
for the
really
best.
like every one of you as our listeners, and I want to keep you as listeners.
Too much to sing for them.
Yeah.
At least in this episode. It's not like we've never been subjected to
Oh no, we've had,
Ugh.
In 1 mile, at roundabout, take exit 2.
had
others
to hear
singing
my
before.
Yeah,
Me
just
too.
not made up tunes. I don't think. I think we'll probably leave that.
Yeah. We're not Rob Inglis.
So it's summer's end. No, we're definitely not. In so many ways, it's summer's end, and we know the date. This is September 26th. Though indeed,
Right.
it is just a few days after the transition into autumn. And there is where he's gathering water lilies for Goldberry. It happens to be
Yeah.
that where he gathers them is where he found her.
Yeah. Every year at this time.
Yeah, every year at this time. So what do you think about the fact that when he found her, sweet was her singing then, and her heart was beating?
I have wondered about that one a lot.
That last line alone makes me wonder whether perhaps prior to that she didn't have a corporeal form that was, animated, that was I guess human, for lack of a better word, even though she's not human, anthropomorphic form that actually,
Yeah.
had a beating heart. And now she
In 0.2 miles, at roundabout, take exit 2.
does.
Rachel
don't know.
Carson, Elementary.
I may be reading more
Exit
than that.
2, what
That
the
may
hell
just
is
be
I
that?
wonder-
metaphorical.
It
second.
it almost seems like it could be the opposite too, though. And her heart was beating. Then when I met her,
At roundabout, take exit 2.
Yeah, I got you.
Oh,
as though
good.
maybe it's not now.
No,
I don't mean she's
she's
dead.
not.
I don't mean she's dead. I mean that she's she's become.
Here we go!
Something
Right.
like that.
2! Hey, look at that!
No. I mean she's become
Zombie
something else.
Goldberry. Would that be the
Something-
coolest Halloween costume, though? Zombie Tom and Goldberry?
I'm sure somebody's done it.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Somebody must have done it. No. I mean, I don't mean she died. I mean
No,
that
no,
she
no, I know what you
became
mean.
something more. She became a spirit.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But then
I hadn't
that,
thought about
that just
one.
raises the question: what was she before? I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Because she
In 0.2 miles, at roundabout, take exit 2. Then turn slight right.
definitely was some kind of water spirit before, as we'll see when we. Well, we actually have a clip from their first date, don't we?
Oh,
Which
yeah,
we'll
you're right.
bring
We
up in just a
do.
minute.
Sean, you've got that one ready to go, huh?
At roundabout, take exit 2.
Yeah, I can actually go to it right now. Yeah, their first meeting is actually described
Turn slight right.
in the poem "The Adventures of Tom Bombadil," and I'll read a few stanzas of that now.
Okay.
Old Tom in summertime walked about the meadows, gathering the buttercups, running after shadows, tickling the bumblebees that buzzed among the flowers, sitting by the waterside for hours upon hours. There his beard dangled long down into the water. Up came Goldberry, the river woman's daughter, pulled Tom's hanging hair, in he went a-wallowing, under the water lilies, bubbling and a-swallowing.
In 0.2 miles, turn left.
Hey, Tom Bombadil, whither are you going? Said fair Goldberry. Bubbles you are blowing, frightening the finny fish and the brown water rat, startling the dab chicks and drowning your feather hat. You bring it back again, there's a pretty maiden, said Tom Bombadil. I do not care for
Turn left.
waiting. Go down,
All
sleep
right.
again where the pools are shady, far below
Look at
willow
these
roots,
rich
little
bastards.
water lady. Back
All
to her
these
mother's
redneck
house
pukes.
in the deepest hollow swam young Goldberry, but Tom he would not
I
follow.
was raised with a
On
healthy
knotted willow roots he sat in
disrespect
sunny
for
weather, drying his yellow boots and his
people
draggled
that
feather.
were more well off than my own
Interesting.
family.
Interesting, I will say. I can't say that
Although
sounds
this
like
is
the
a-
best first date.
This is
I
a
mean,
lovely
just
little neighborhood.
doesn't seem like this was love at first sight. You know what I mean?
Well, it
If you
seems
like
better than Melkorn and
the
Golan's
prison
first
look.
date, but
Well,
that's a low bar, I suppose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously, that's a
I guess
really
there's no
low bar.
lanes here.
Now, it does seem, though,
In 1 mile, turn right.
that the second date went a little better. Later on in the poem, we see them decide to get married. But one day, Tom, he went and caught the river daughter, in green gown, flowing hair, sitting in the rushes, singing old water songs to birds upon the bushes. He caught her, held her fast. Water rats went scuttering, reeds hissed, herons cried, and her heart was fluttering. Said Tom Bombadil, "Here's my pretty
These must be
maiden.
all the
You shall come
Microsoft
home with
guys.
me. The table is all laden. Yellow cream, honeycomb, white bread and butter.
Please tell
Roses
me.
at the windowsill and peeping round the shutter. You shall
Yeah.
come under hill. Never mind your mother. In her
Still
deep
don't know how to
pool,
fucking
there
drive,
you'll
though,
find no lover."
apparently.
Old Tom Bombadil had a merry wedding, crowned all with buttercups, hat and feathers shedding. His bride with forget-me-nots and flag lilies for garland was robed all in silver green. He sang like a starling, hummed like a honey bee, lilted to the fiddle, clasping his river maid round her slender middle.
that's lovely. I really like that.
Yeah.
Then again, I always cry at weddings,
Hurry up.
which now I'll never be invited
A
to
bunch
anybody's
of
wedding.
douchebags
No,
on the way
yeah,
the
yeah,
fuck
definitely
they're
not, because they're going to
going.
think you're going to break out in song and
Where
poetry
are
and then
you
start crying.
going?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all of the above,
I'm gonna
actually.
pass
Yeah.
your ass
Yeah.
because
Interesting
I'm a
that the passage you read talked about her heart. Her heart was fluttering,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
just like in the book. It says her heart was beating.
Her
So
heart was beating.
I still don't. She definitely was. She definitely was some sort of water fairy, naiad,
dick
water
around
sprite,
with
whatever.
you, man.
Right. It took on
Beforehand.
some physical
Yeah.
form here.
So I don't know. The heart thing. Maybe he's just talking about how it was racing when he says
Right.
it
I
was
mean,
beating,
it may just be the
but,
metaphor for exactly.
yeah.
She was
Yeah.
feeling in love there, having a little physiological reaction.
Yeah.
I have to say though, he caught her, right? I mean, she'd caught him, and then
Yeah.
he talked his way out of that one, and now he catches her, holds her
In 0.2 miles, turn right.
fast, and basically says, "You're going to come with me." It's not quite ale levels of aggressiveness, but it's probably a little less acceptable
Turn right.
in
There's-
modern parlance to do
There's
this.
definitely. That's really interesting. I can't disagree.
No.
He's definitely kind of a take
He's
charge
forcing
kind
the
of.
In 0.2 miles, turn left.
issue here, isn't he?
I don't know if he's forcing.
No, I know.
He's taking initiative certainly, but
There you go. He's
I
definitely
don't know. He
making the
grabs
first
around
move.
her middle and
Yeah.
Turn
He's
left.
abducting her.
No, I mean,
Essentially.
clearly she has time later to decide because the wedding is not the minute he captures her. He captures her, says, "You're going to come back with me," and then there's a merry wedding, which she could have clearly have just said, "No, thank you."
Well, but it is an interesting contrast to some of the, let's say, some of the sort of supernatural couples that we've seen.
Update on the
in
Oxford
Middle
heated
Earth,
grip
Yeah.
situation.
Look at something like Thingol and Melian.
Freaking
where
awesome.
Melian really kind of lured Thingol in, and I don't mean
Yeah.
that in a
Not in a bad
it was
way.
kind of
Like that little
a
girl
nefarious
was
thing. Yeah, no,
step-
In
Stepping up.
0.2 miles, turn left.
it wasn't like that. It's just she really kind of had control of that situation.
Yeah, you're right. She did.
Whereas this Tom is really in control
Ooh, that's a
here.
nice
Tom
backyard.
was very much in control. I mean, that's why the first date didn't work. Is she tried to take charge, and
Turn left.
he's
Yeah.
like, "No, I don't play that way."
Yeah.
You go back home.
Yeah.
And then he comes and gets her again later, and it's like, now
Yeah.
you're coming with me now. Don't stay at home with your mom. You're never gonna find a lover there.
You're never going to find a lover that way. I'm here.
That's
Look
right.
at me in my hat. Yeah.
Say you like my hat. There's your far and
Right.
away reference right there.
Yep.
Oh man, never thought that would
Awesome
come up
stuff.
again.
Never
because the
thought-
first time that reference
a way
came
to
up, I
work
couldn't
that in.
remember the name of the movie. Remember, it was like, oh, what's
Yeah,
that
that's
movie
right. That
with
was-
Tom Cruise and
that's
Nicole
right.
Kidman?
Tom
And
Cruise and
he was
Nicole Kidman,
Irish,
yep.
and they were
Yep.
And of course, I had
That's
like
right.
27 people within an hour of the release say, "Dude, it was
Far and away.
it was far and away."
It's
Yeah,
totally
you're right.
far and away. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll never forget again. That's really interesting stuff. This is an interesting relationship. It really
It's
is.
a very interesting
And
dynamic.
I really like this
That is
little
true.
window into it that we get.
Yeah, I like it. Well, we're not going to read Tom's follow-up song, but he He then basically says, hey, this is a good thing for you that I still had this errand because I'm not going to be going that way again until next year. In fact, he says, nor shall I be passing Old Man Willow's house this side of springtime when Goldberry dances down on the path to bathe in the water. I hope that Goldberry takes more than one bath a year. I'm just saying that, but...
Ceremonial bath,
really,
dickhead.
Maybe she only bathes in
the
that
river
water once a year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's kind of. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt, since she clearly likes water. In fact, some might say she is water. Who knows?
Some might say that. Yeah.
Some might say, but yeah, she takes one bath a year, whether she needs it or not.
Yep.
So we're not going to read Frodo's asking the question about,
In 0.2 miles, turn right.
tell us about the Willow Man, which is really a phrase that nobody should ever utter.
Holy shit.
But and Mary and Pippin are like, no,
I'm right
let's
by my
not-
house.
let's
Tell
not
us
do
about the
this.
Willow Man. Yeah.
Please, Mr. Tom.
I'm right
tell
by
us
my
about the
parents'
Willow
house.
Man.
I'm going around.
Turn right.
No,
No.
don't. Mary,
I
I have
know
no
why.
idea
No,
where I was.
do
not.
Oh, I got a
It
free
is
lift.
nighttime, and you
we
need
would
to
like
rest.
to sleep tonight. Thank you very much.
I can just imagine now the cut. Like, you're looking at Frodo asking this question, and Tom Bombadil looks, he'll be like, all right. And the next thing you know is like the wide open eyes of Mary and Pippin at 3 in the morning.
Right.
Can't sleep.
Calculate route.
Well, and I
Oh,
hate to get
goodness.
ahead of ourselves, but, we will see their dreams are...
Oh, yeah.
In 0.2 miles, turn left. Then turn left.
They're
They're
dreaming.
In
How the
0.
hell